big plans for the U.S. economy, which isn't all up to him.
The presidency is just a slice in time, right? So you pick it up at a certain time, and whatever is at work in the economy, that's what you have to deal with. So I'm glad to hear him say he wants to cut prices. He wants to get inflation under control, but it's difficult.
We speak with Fox Business's Jerry Willis.
And I'm Drew Forsberg. I've got the final word on Fox News Rundown.
The race for the White House is over, but Senate Republicans still have to sort out who will be the next majority leader. Pennsylvania Senator-elect Dave McCormick didn't reveal who he is backing.
I'm still just now spending time with each of the candidates, and I'll have an opportunity to vote this week. But I think the most important thing is President Trump laid out very specifically what he wanted to do. And I laid out my agenda as well, which was very much in line with his. So I want to support that agenda.
It's clear President-elect Trump wants to hit the ground running when he takes office in January.
We're going to be paying down debt. We're going to be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is going to be able to do it.
Florida Republican Congressman Byron Donalds, who is African-American, talked about Trump's ability to connect with minority voters.
What you heard from black men, you heard also from Hispanic men. You heard also from, in part, suburban women. They want a country that is safe. They want an economy that is thriving. And Donald Trump is going to deliver on all of those promises.
Minnesota Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips, who challenged President Biden in this year's primary contest, says Democrats must make adjustments going forward.
You look around the country, a lot of red states were favoring Democratic policy. So I would argue, yes, our product is not the real problem. Our packaging, our messengers, and our distribution is a real problem. And I think it's fair to say, if you ask people what the Democratic brand stands for right now, it's real complicated. And that's a real important problem right now, that we have to articulate what we stand for.
A key ally of President-elect Trump says his formula for success was not surprising.
He clearly has a mandate because he has an agenda for the country.
Florida Senator Rick Scott.
You know, the way I think about, the working man knows that you're better off if Donald Trump's president. It's almost as simple as that. So take Florida as an example. Trump and I won Miami-Dade by 10 points. We won every metropolitan area, I think, but 2. And we won the Tampa area, we won St. Pennsylvania County, where Jacksonville is, where Miami is. And I think part of it is, I've been focused on the Hispanic vote. Trump focused on the Hispanic vote. I stayed focused on since I started running in 2010. And I think it's as simple as this. I believe, and I think President Trump believes, we need to create an opportunity for every kid to live the dream. I think now what we've got to do is we got to do everything we can to help Donald Trump get his mandate accomplished through both the House and the Senate. That's why I'm running to be the Republican leader, which will be the majority leader, because, we have got to get something done here. We can't look at where we are. We got almost $36 trillion of debt. We're losing full-time jobs. 100,000 people dying of drugs. We got the world at war. We're dependent on our adversary for drugs and household goods. This is crazy what we've done. Trump is going to change all this. So, but he needs a partner. I've known the president since before we both ran for office, and I'm a business guy. I know how you get things done. You have a purpose, you build a team, you create a plan, you measure the living daylights out of everything, and you get stuff done. So we got to get his nominees done. We got to get his agenda done. We can't happen what happened to him the first time he was president, where the Republican leadership at that point stalled, didn't get his people done. Oh, they didn't, couldn't get it done, didn't get his bills passed. I'm going to do everything I can to be successful because I know it's exactly what the American public wants.
There was some talk heading into Election Day that Vice President Harris was going to have this late surge, and that did not come to fruition. What did you make of her campaign?
Well, I've known her. I served with her for 2 years. She had no message. There was no energy for her in Florida. If you think about we're the working people. Most people grew up like I did. But they were rich or poor. They had a mom. In my case, I did grow up poor, but I had a mom that said, Get your butt to work. Get education. Nobody's going to fix your problems. You got to go do it yourself. Thank God you live in America. And that's the people that supported Donald Trump. People like that said, I want have my shot at the dream. I don't want a government handout. I know that doesn't work. I want somebody that's going to control inflation. I want somebody that's going to get us out of all these conflicts all around the world. I want somebody that's going to secure the border. I don't like drugs, criminals, terrorists come across the border. What they were doing, allowing men to play in women's sports, this stuff is crazy. And people believe in this stuff. And for the media to go sell this idea that, oh, yeah, we think it's okay for men to win all the women's sports, or we think it's okay to have a wide open border, or we think it's okay that we have a woke military. That's not what America thinks. They never thought that way. And I think they were just, maybe they're just talking to themselves, because I can tell you, I traveled the state. I went to every county. We won big in Florida. We won by, both Donald Trump and I won by over 1.4 million votes. We won because working people like it, because that's who we represent. We know that's the heartbreak. That's who we are as Americans. We're workers.
My understanding is you and the other gentlemen running for Senate Majority Leader John Thune and John Cornyn will make a presentation to your colleagues on Tuesday. One factor will be there are new members of the Senate Republican Conference. What are your relationships like with the new guys, and how confident are you with the existing colleagues that you have?
I've talked to pretty much every one of my colleagues, and here's what they say. We want change. They want to have an agenda. They want to be part of a team. They want to work with the House. They know I have a great relationship with Donald Trump, a great relationship with the Speaker of the House. They know I'm a business guy that has gotten things done. I built the seventh biggest U.S. employer. By the time I was 40, when I was 41, over 400 people in America had a job, worked at my company, and built manufacturing companies. So they know I can get things done, and that's why I think I'm going to be the leader. It's a secret ballot, so we'll see what happens. But I am absolutely committed to getting Donald Trump's agenda done.
President-elect Trump has laid out a laundry list of items he'd like to get accomplished through Congress in his presidency, including immigration reform, tax cuts, tax reforms, and, of course, cutting regulations on businesses. Those of us who cover Capitol Hill on a daily basis know sometimes watching the sausage be made is not pretty, but how confident are you that you could get these things across the finish line and to his desk for a signature?
Everything is doable. So think about what I walked in the same sort of problems when I became governor in January 2011. I cut 20% of regulatory environment, on the permitting environment. I cut taxes and fees 100 times. We had 8 straight years of a balanced budget. Florida had not balanced a budget, and even once in the 20 years before I became governor. Everything, I fixed the pension plan. Everything, all these types of problems I dealt with before. I dealt with it as a business guy. How do you do it? You talk to people. You say, hey, what's everybody think? Who doesn't think we ought to have a secure border? Who doesn't think we ought to balance the budget? Who doesn't think we ought to have a strong military that people are scared of? So what you have to do is you have to talk to everybody, and you find common ground and bring them together. All that is doable, but you have to have a plan and work a plan. We can balance the budget, but guess what? If we don't even try to have a budget meeting, which I've been on the budget committee for 6 years, we have never, ever tried to pass a budget since I've been there. So if we keep going down the same path, we're going to get the same result. We've got $36 trillion worth of debt. We've got the highest inflation since the 1970s. It's not going to change. We can't have a little bit of change. We have to have a dramatic change in how the Senate is operated.
President-elect Trump has made it pretty clear he'd like to get an end to the war in Ukraine and to the war in Gaza. Do you think Republicans in the new Senate will be on board with these plans, and how do you get it done?
Well, first off, I think all of us would like to make sure that the world's not at war. So what you have to do is you have to have an American military that all of our enemies are scared to death of. We didn't have these problems when Trump was president before. But we had, under Biden and Harris, we had a weak vice president. We have now a way more woke military. That's all going to change under Donald Trump. So we're going to have to, with regard to the Middle East, we're going to have to go back to Trump's agenda on Iran. They should not have a dime. And if you do anything to harm an American citizen, you will die. And with regard to Ukraine and Russia, I'm very comfortable that with Donald Trump's negotiating ability, he will be able to come up with something that ends that war.
Some of your colleagues in the Senate have been giving you some glowing endorsements for the next majority leader, touting your conservative record and support of Trump policies. What do you think sets you apart from Senators Thune and Cornyn?
I'm a business guy. It's real simple. I'm a business guy. I was governor of Florida for 8 years. So that I know you have to have a plan to get anything done. So I think people feel comfortable that I'm going to come up with a plan. They know I have a very personal relationship with Donald Trump and the Speaker of the House. And many House members. So I think the reason why is they want to get something done. I mean, I've been up here 6 years. I want to balance the budget. I want to protect Medicare. I want to protect Social Security. I want to have a strong, scare the death out of our enemies' military.
Particularly the media ecosystem, Dave. It's not a good one.
It's federal government. I want an accountable federal government. Nobody gets fired. Nobody gets fired in the federal government. Nobody gets fired. It's crazy. Nobody wants to fire somebody, but guess what? Do your job. So we need to hold people accountable. But our federal government is completely out of whack as far as size. We are spending 40% more than we take in revenues. Our taxes are too high already. We need to reduce the tax burden on the American public, and we need to downsize the federal government. I did it when I was governor. I'll do it again.
Senator Rick Scott of the great state of Florida. We will follow the leadership election this week. Thanks so much for your time today.
Bye-bye.
Kayal and Company, weekday mornings. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hello, everyone. For all of you who suffer from calcium oxalate stones, here is some free advice. Tip 1, drink plenty of water. It takes a lot of water to dilute and pass the substances that lead to stones. Tip 2, modify your diet. You'll need to limit sodium, cut your meat.
Tired of difficult lifestyle changes that often don't work? If you suffer from calcium oxalate stones, now there's help. Kidney Cop, Calcium Oxalate Protector. Add Kidney Cop to your routine as a way to potentially reduce or even stop the formation of calcium oxalate stones. Kidney Cop is a dietary supplement developed by doctors and pharmacists. It's been proven in laboratory tests to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. That's right, 99%. Just take Kidney Cop. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. You can purchase affordable Kidney Cop today by visiting Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com. Yes, you can start enjoying life again. Purchase Kidney Cop at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com today.
These statements have not been reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sponsored by Calcium Oxalate Labs, Inc.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Football season is in full swing, but are you making your picks with Sleeper? Just pick more or less in these 2 player stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer for new users. Your first deposit will be matched 100% up to $1,500 in credit. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code MONDAY, and your first deposit up to $1,500 will be matched in credit. That's code MONDAY. Must be at least 18 years old in most states, and in state where it is legal. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. See terms of use for details at Sleeper.com. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Dawn Stansland here. You know why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo? Because I want to make sure that my searches are private and out of anybody's data profiles. That means the government or any other legal requests, you need to use DuckDuckGo. So they don't track you at all, regardless of what browsing mode you're in. Every time you search on DuckDuckGo, it's actually as if you've never been there before. That's important to me. So they have a 3-in-1 privacy subscription service. It helps protect your personal information from being exploited by hackers, scammers, and privacy-invasive companies. Plus, it's from DuckDuckGo, so you know it's legit. All this for $9.99 a month, and here's an exclusive 7-day free trial at DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Then pay $9.99 a month. Again, the subscription at DuckDuckGo.com/1210, DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell Dawn sent you.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here to tell you why Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. You can choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, or you can have their master jewelers create a custom one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at FamilyJewelers.com. That's FamilyJewelers.com. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in caregiving New Jersey families, the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
Call 811 if you have some groundwork to do. Utilities are under you, and it's all good until they spew. Oops, now all on your lawn. It smells like a porta-john. Should've just called 811. It's a real human stinky bomb.
Call 811 before you dig and help us hit 50 and 5. 50% less damage to buried utilities in 5 years. For more info, visit pa1call.org.
Calling Unlimited Town. Hello there. To follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Now, a look at what's happening from the Fox News Rundown.
Good morning. It's Monday, November 11th. This is the Fox News Rundown. President-elect Trump with a flurry of announcements Sunday night, confirming to the New York Post that he's nominating New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik to serve as his U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. He called her an incredibly strong, tough, and smart America First fighter. And there's a new border czar in town, the president-elect putting former ICE Director Tom Homan in charge of the nation's borders. Today is Veterans Day, a time to honor the service of America's military members.
It was originally called Armistice Day, a day set aside to honor the veterans of World War I. The day falls on November 11th, which is the anniversary of the signing of the armistice that ended the war. In 1954, the holiday's name was changed to Veterans Day in order to recognize veterans of all wars. The Veterans Day National Ceremony is held each year on November 11th at Arlington National Cemetery and includes a wreath laying at the Tomb of the Unknowns. In addition to that event, other prominent ceremonies take place, including at the National World War II Memorial and Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., as well as local wreath-laying events, parades, and military displays. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
I'm Sue Guzman on the Fox News Rundown.
This is the Fox News Rundown.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano, weekdays noon till 3. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, the voice of the people.
First thing I want to say is a shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
You guys make my morning every morning. I voted Trump, my whole family. I obligate my whole family to vote Trump. I am so excited. Like, tears are coming out of my eyes. Like, it's a real thing. I love America. I love this country.
From South Jersey to Delco, from Bucks to Montco, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. We are the voice of the people. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
There's a chill in the air. You flip on the heat, and uh-oh, nothing. And why does it always happen right after you've finally gotten cozy? For as little as $13 a month, Oliver will keep your home's heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems in check year-round. And guess what? Membership also comes with yearly inspections, exclusive discounts on repairs and replacements, plus priority emergency service.
Call Oliver for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs.
Howard Eskin here, and get game day ready at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirit store with the original Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey for $3 off 750 milliliters and $2 off Jack Daniel's Fire, Honey, and Apple 750s, or a 4-pack of Jack and Coke or Jack and Coke Zero Sugar, now ready to drink in a can for $1 off. Jack Daniel's, born for the tailgate, and please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV, Jack Daniel's Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and all the a registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties, Inc. Coca-Cola is a registered trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Finally, our region received measurable rainfall, ending a 6-week dry spell. The Eagles snap a drought of their own, forcing 5 turnovers and romping to a 34-6 win, their first in Dallas since 2017. And rookie Jared McCain notches a young career-high 27 points to lift the Sixers over the Hornets in OT.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio, now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Have you heard all the talk about fresh pet food? Well, at Dogs and Cats Rule, when it comes to fresh, healthy ingredients, we lead the way. Hi, I'm George Parenti, and I'm here to tell you there's nothing better nutrition-wise than fresh food for your pet. Stop in to one of our 7 neighborhood locations and ask our expert staff how a real, fresh, meat-based diet can change your pet's overall health and well-being. Shop online at dogsandcatsrule.pet. Dogs and Cats Rule. Shop small, shop local, shop family.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step, from pre-approval with mortgage rates lower than the national average to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/home connection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
This is the Fox News Rundown. Now, the latest from Fox Business.
I'm
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The markets will be open on this Veterans Day as they try to build on last week's post-election momentum. On Friday, all three indices finished with record closes. The Dow up 260 to finish at more than 44,157. Its 42nd record close of the year. The S&P 500 up 22 for its third straight record close and 50th of the year. It briefly crossed the 6,000 mark during the day for the first time ever. The Nasdaq up 17 Friday to finish with its 31st record close of the year. The Dow and the S&P had their best weeks of the year. The Dow up 1,937, the S&P up 267. Earnings reports this week from the Home Depot on Tuesday, Walt Disney on Thursday, and Chinese-owned Alibaba on Friday. Wednesday, we get the latest details on the Consumer Price Index and mortgage applications. The latest weekly unemployment and mortgage rate figures come Thursday. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Kevin Uretsky. Invested in you.
This is the Fox News Rundown.
The Federal Reserve is walking a line. With one meeting left this year, they've made two interest rate cuts, a half-point cut in September and another quarter-point last week, shifting gears from a string of rate hikes made to fight inflation.
We're trying to steer between the risk of moving too quickly and perhaps undermining our progress on inflation, or moving too slowly and allowing the labor market to weaken too much. We're trying to be on a middle path.
The latest cut comes after a much weaker than expected hiring in October. Just 12,000 jobs created, though back-to-back hurricanes and a Boeing strike were part of that. But consumer spending has helped keep the economy growing, and inflation has largely continued to cool. With the election over, the central bank now faces the potential impacts of a new administration in Washington. But Fed Chair Jerome Powell says in the near term, election results have no effect on the Fed's policy decisions. And going forward, they don't know the timing or substance of any policy changes.
We therefore don't know what the effects on the economy would be, specifically whether and to what extent those policies would matter for the achievement of our goal variables, maximum employment and price stability. We don't guess, we don't speculate, and we don't assume.
Powell has emphasized the central bank's independence from any politician. In the first Trump administration, he faced criticism from the president over interest rate hikes. During this year's campaign, now President-elect Trump suggested he should have a say in Fed policy decisions.
I believe it was in mid-October, Trump started walking that back. He's already walking that back and saying, well, I feel like I should be able to add my voice in, but I shouldn't be able to call it.
Fox Business's Jerry Willis.
So I think he's read the room, and he realizes that this is not something that a lot of people would be in favor of. We heard the Democrats say we want to change how the Supreme Court chooses justices. We heard the Democrats say that there are many things, structural things that require a change in the Constitution to do. So the fact that he did this is small peanuts by comparison, but even he is walking away from this.
The Trump campaign proposals now have a chance to become Trump policies when it comes to his economic agenda. Let's start with drill, baby drill, because not only does he say it a lot, but it's really a cornerstone of his vision. He's saying that, boosting domestic energy supply can help lower costs on many, many things. How much can that actually help, though, when, grocery prices, for instance, are about 20% higher than when he left office? So it's just bringing down the energy component of that potentially going to be enough to really
I think
impact.
This is the every little bit helps school of economic management. And I know he wants to increase oil production in this country for other reasons as well, because it makes us more independent, which is something we desperately need right now with half the world rallying against us, including China and Russia, et cetera. So I think they're, with many of his objectives, they serve many masters, which could ultimately be complicated, but I think this is one of those that is like that. But bringing down oil and gas prices, my first thought isn't an impact on food prices. My first thought is impact at the gas pump. You'll pay less, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. He is pitching overall, his vision being able to lower prices. but they've been pretty sticky. Even as the rate of inflation has come down, prices on many things have remained high compared to where they were at the end of his term.
Well, this is absolutely true. The Biden administration, Kamala Harris, they were unable to bring down prices, and prices actually hit their peak under Biden. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, but this is cumulative. So, we had prices go up 9% at their height, and then another 2, and then another 1, and then another 3. Well, that just adds on to that number. We haven't had negative inflation. That hasn't happened. It's all adding on to what we've already seen. So the compounding effect is what people are feeling right now, even though those numbers have ostensibly come down. And I think you're right. This is a tough problem to solve. This is going to be difficult. Inflation is sticky, and typically the only way we get rid of it is a big fat recession. And I certainly wouldn't rule that out in the next 4 years. It's just the way the world works. It's one of those things that's hard to get away from. And I would encourage people listening to your podcast, hey, look, you really might want to plan for that in the back of your head. You might want to save a little bit of extra money. We've seen the jobs market pull back a little bit here. We certainly saw it last month, and a lot of people said, oh, hey, it's just the effect of the hurricanes and Boeing. But even if you take those issues out, it was still wildly unimpressive. And I think we could be in for more of that.
Irregardless of policies that the new administration is able.
It's legacy. It's legacy of what Trump is inheriting at this point. And this is the way it always works, right? I mean, the economy is an organism that's growing and shrinking and expanding and getting smaller. And, the presidency is just a slice in time, right? So you pick it up at a certain time, and whatever is at work in the economy, that's what you have to deal with. So I'm glad to hear him say he wants to cut prices. He wants to get inflation under control, but it's difficult. And one of the hardest nuts to crack will be housing.
Yes. Certainly an area where costs have gone up the most in recent years, depending on the type of housing. For home buyers, at the moment, mortgage rates seem sticky, even as the Fed begins to make rate cuts. Is there any relief coming in the housing market?
So they're up even this week, is what I've found. Mortgage rates continue to climb higher. And of course, that's just extra money you got to pay, right? I mean, it's just an added cost onto whatever the actual price of the house is. So the thing most people don't understand, so the Fed could cut its heart out forever. It may not matter to mortgage rates because mortgage rates track the 10-year Treasury yield. And the yield has been higher. Why? Because our debt is so high. Why? Because the federal government in Washington keep handing out money to people like rainwater. I mean, the checks that have gone out to people, whether it was after COVID, forgiveness of debt, college student loans, all of this has made it worse. And now we see financial markets are really starting to worry about it. And that's why they're demanding more return on the 10-year Treasury. They're saying, I'm not buying that government debt, which should be the safest thing in the world, until you give me more money for it.
Let's talk about tax policy for a minute.
Yes, please.
Because President-elect Trump, another part of his, economic agenda is tax cuts and also tax breaks. Which of those have the potential to really help the middle class the most, let's say?
So he's been talking about a lot of things lately. So he's talked about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime pay, no tax on Social Security. Hallelujah. Why should these people pay tax on their Social Security? And all of those are important, but also remember that his Tax Cuts Jobs Act of 2017 is expiring. Those are big-time tax cuts for individuals and also corporations. He wants to bring the corporate tax rate down to 15%. Now, I think all of this is sort of fascinating because at the end of the day, this is going to add to debt. And that's one of the confounding situations here. He knows that if he grows the economy, he can grow it out of any potential looming recession. He can maybe potentially, help Americans, right? another job, a job that pays better because the economy is expanding. But in reality, we're going to see inflation go higher too if everything he wants and loves and prays for becomes law. And that's what a lot of people are worried about. And that's also playing into the 10-year Treasury yield. Now, my guess is he's not going to get everything he wants. And I think it's going to be hard to get everything through. But at the end of the day, it's that kind of policy actually trying to grow the economy that's going to work better than just giving money away.
And part of that is because he's talked about lowering the corporate tax rate, he's trying to kind of zero in on U.S.-based manufacturers, right? Essentially rewarding manufacturers who do their business, make their products here, while at the same time using tariffs on foreign goods to also try to help U.S. businesses.
Which is also inflationary.
But that's seen as a double-edged sword, right? Because it could lead to other companies raising prices to make up for higher tariffs. Is that even a riskier strategy now while prices are still elevated?
So this is a really controversial idea, the tariffs. And when I hear Trump talk about it, I'm like, oh, that's the best idea in the world. And then when I talk to smart economists, I'm like, that's not a good idea. It's really difficult to understand how he would implement it and the details of it. And the details here matter and matter a lot. Tariffs were a big part of the country's tax policy in the 1800s. Okay, you got to go back. It's never, since that time, been a huge part of the nation's tax policy, and he wants to bring it back. And what I favor about what he's saying is I think he's absolutely right about getting manufacturing back on shore here. And one of the reasons for that is in the world of work and development of products and ideas, you don't get new ideas when you don't make the goods yourself. You know, Apple phones, cell phones are designed here in the United States of America. If they were also produced here, people producing them would learn things that would feed into the design process in a way that would be very shorthanded because it would be onshore here with the designers. But because they're mostly made in China, you don't get that feedback loop. And it's cost. It sets us back, in my opinion. So I would love to find a way for manufacturing to grow and grow substantially, not the least because it would provide jobs to the middle of America, which has been suffering in the wake of NAFTA. This is a group of people, you know, they just got slammed by the hurricane in Appalachia. Slammed by the hurricane. The opioid crisis was killer for that region, and NAFTA took away jobs. There has to be a policy to help this region, to get these people re-employed and contributing to the country. They deserve it, and they're asking for it with this election. These people, these blue-collar workers are saying, put me to work. I'm ready to go. Let's find a way to do it.
Fox Business's Jerry Willis, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. A pleasure.
Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 844-53-BIBLE. That's 844-53-BIBLE, 844-53-BIBLE.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in and ask for something for memory, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed I could think more clearly. Memory was so much better. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
In a clinical study, Prevagen was shown to improve memory in subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired. Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Hi, Dawn Stensland here. You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding for years now. How much I love the work the Chapman family team has done in my home, especially that wall of glass patio doors that replaced some windows when you walk into my foyer area. You know by now if I needed windows, doors, or siding, I would only trust the Chapman team. But did you know they also install shutters? A perfect complement to your new windows. For the month of November, Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding is giving away a pair of shutters when you purchase 2 pairs. The right shutters can really enhance the curb appeal of your home. Whether you or somebody you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, shutters, or hardware, just give them a call. You can text them. They're local. 610-431-8898. That's 610-431-8898. You can always take a virtual tour online, ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Get all the details. That's ChapmanWindowsDoors.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
At PGW, safety is essential to delivering clean, reliable natural gas to Philadelphia homes and businesses. If you smell gas, call PGW at 215-235-1212.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Fox News, I'm Sue Guzman. President-elect Trump confirming to the New York Post he's nominating New York Congressman Elise Stefanik to serve as the U.S. ambassador to the UN. Stefanik leading the fight in Congress against anti-Semitism on college campuses. Her tough questioning of campus presidents led to their resignations. The president-elect also announcing Sunday former acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Tom Homan will be his administration's border czar. Firefighters battling wildfires in New York and northern New Jersey. Chief Fire Warden of the New Jersey Fire Service, Bill Donnelly.
We may not actually get this done today, possibly not even tomorrow, but hopefully by the end of the week, we can secure our control lines and make sure the fire stays where we want it to.
America's listening to Fox News.
Is the Fox News Rundown. Now a look at sports.
Joey Logano won the NASCAR Cup Series championship for the third time in 7 years. Defending champ Ryan Blaney finished second. NFL action, undefeated Kansas City won its 15th consecutive game. The Chiefs got by Denver 16-14. Pittsburgh edged Washington 28-27 in a battle of first-place teams. The Saints snapped a 7-game slide by topping Atlanta 20-17. The 49ers knocked off Tampa Bay 23-20 on Jake Moody's 44-yard field goal. Philadelphia tops Dallas 34-6. The Eagles have won 5 in a row, and Carolina beat the New York Giants in overtime in Munich, Germany 20-17. That's sports on the Fox News Rundown. I'm Bob Mortale, Fox News.
Now an update from Outkick's Hot Mic.
For all the talk about all these things Donald Trump was going to do and set up a Nazi regime and totalitarian government, I look back and I think, boy, the price of things weren't too bad. And I think a lot of Americans just used that simple math and they used reason and not emotion
and they decided that I may have voted for Joe Biden in 2020, but I'm voting for Donald Trump in 2024. I think when you vote with reason and not emotion, the response shouldn't be emotional to that. It should be an honest, reflective moment of where did we fall short? What's going on? Why would someone do this? And I think in this election, it was a number of things, but for a lot of people, it was opportunity, it was economy, it was price of everything right now. And they're thinking, we got to come up with a change. And this is someone who was in the White House with the president that did not get me to the point I wanted to be as an American citizen right now. So let's go with something different. I'm Chad Withrow with Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow on the Fox News Rundown.
Hey, it's Ike Reese. These days, everything in Philly costs more. But a single line at Verizon doesn't. Get one line for as low as $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while coffee is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. And dinner for two has gotten pricey. Verizon, less pricey. Logan Square rent, that's not coming down anytime soon. But Verizon, down. One line for just $50 a month. Limited edition sneakers, through the roof. One line from Verizon, through the floor. That designer golden doodle, so much more, but Verizon, a fair bit less. Even a good old tried and true hamburger will cost you more. But with Verizon, the same tried and true service is now just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome. With auto pay plus taxes and fees. Point is, in a world that is always costing more, you can get more for less right now at a Philly Verizon store.
$15 promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Mystic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Have you ever thought about what charities and causes the brands that you give your hard-earned money to support? Well, Pure Talk, my cell phone company, supports veterans. Now, this is a veteran-led company. It is their passion project, and that's why Pure Talk has alleviated $10 million in veterans' debt. And that's why they donate tens of thousands of dollars every month to help prevent veteran suicide. It's also why they just donated $50,000 to Micro Works, providing scholarships to veterans learning the trades after their active duty. You get the exact same service at about half the cost, the same 5G network, the same cell towers, and you're also helping veterans. It's win-win-win. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now. The switch is simple, it is fast, it is easy. And by the way, they hire Americans right here in America to handle the jobs to serve you. Pound 250, keyword save now from our friends at Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
Do you know a veteran in need? Nation's Finest, through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, helps veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada, helping thousands of veterans every year. Visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Hey, Dawn here. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes, in just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. Trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. Kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. Tell them Dawn sent you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Look at you. Your life is under control. Errands? Done. Groceries? Got 'em. It's a good time to give yourself a reward. You know the one. Your favorite tasty cake treat. Is it the delicious crimpet or the mouthwatering candy cake? No matter where you are, choose what feels right and enjoy. You've earned it. And you know you deserve it. Tasty cake, accept no substitutes.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day. It is indeed Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and, of course, streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210. That is the phone number on social media. At 1210 WPHT, I am at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Dawn Stensland with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Sean and Jimmy, our associate producers. This morning, our buddy Phil Almquist will be back on Wednesday. By the way, Phil went to the Jets game yesterday in Arizona as part of his NFL stadium tour, but he's going to stick around today to offer up Carrie Lake's second eulogy. Because, yeah, not good for her. But I digress. Dawn Stensland, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. This Monday morning, rainy. Finally, we get some rain.
It was like 38 days, 40 days, something like that. How about that?
Yeah.
Little precipitation, as they say. Gregory, how are you?
Hey, buddy.
Another week.
We're here.
Ready to go?
On Monday, ready to go.
A great week, by the way.
Yep.
As we honor all of our World War II veterans. We've got one lined up for you coming up at 9:40 today. A little personal Odyssey connection to this one. This was an absolute pleasure. And we will get through a bunch of them a little bit later, and you're going to hear all sorts of goodies throughout the week, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be great. It's nice. A lot of people have emailed, called, sent in requests and stuff. So tracking some of these people down is not the easiest thing. So we'll do the best we can.
That's right.
Maybe some days we might just read who they are and their ranking and when they served and all that stuff.
There you go.
Yeah, we're today's is going to be great, and thank you to our good friends at Window Nation for helping us honor the greatest generation, World War II. Sean, Dawn's camera is all out of focus.
Oh, Dawn is fuzzy.
Yeah,
I'm a little fuzzy.
If there's anybody that needs to be fuzzy, it should be Nick and I, not Dawn.
That's correct. Or the Dallas Cowboys offense.
Oh, my Lord.
We'll get to that in the news. And by the way, today, because we did not have him on Friday, he was traveling. He had a wedding to go to. Our pal, Sean Farish, will join us at 8:30 this morning for the first time since Donald Trump won the election.
Huge.
So we'll actually hear from 47 for the first time post-victory.
Yeah, huge.
On the program. Looking forward to that. We got a lot of good things to get to today. A big take following a weekend that was where I'm not sure that the Democrats are handling this well. I think the media and the Democrats are going to handle this moving forward a little bit differently. And then also we start to focus on the future, which will include the protection of free speech and also the vision for this administration just 70 days before Inauguration Day. We'll get to all of that. Also, a story about FEMA that was once labeled fake news by the New York Times proved to be true, and then the cover-up from the media that followed. We'll get to that with FEMA. Also, some sports politics stuff with 49ers defensive end Nick Bosa being a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Are you going to play that video of him?
I don't know that everybody's claiming that that's the Trump dance. I don't know that that is.
Really?
I don't know that that's the YMCA thing he does. If it is, it's a bad imitation of it.
All right.
But if you want to break it down, we can analyze it.
Okay.
We'll break down the tape.
Okay.
So we'll do all of that this morning. Sean Farish, the cut sheet, our veteran spotlight, and so much more. But before we get to all of it, let's get to the news. Round number one, right off the top at 6:04. The great, still fuzzy, Dawn Stensland.
Not sure why.
Maybe it just might be steamy in that booth. I don't know.
Steamy.
Yeah.
Steamy and rainy.
Yeah.
Good morning. 59 degrees. The rain has mostly stopped. Just a few sprinkles, slick conditions. We are sponsored this Monday morning, November 11th, Veterans Day, sponsored by First Harvest Credit Union. So we do know that we have a road shut down in the area as Philadelphia, or I should say suburban police confirmed that a woman in a wheelchair was struck and killed by a vehicle. This is a hit and run on City Avenue in Bala-Cynwyd. So police say the woman in the wheelchair was struck early this morning. She had been leaving the Taco Bell right near Conshohocken State Road. So right now, City Ave is shut down. It's a lot of police activity there as they investigate this. Closed in both directions near Conshohocken Road as police say they're investigating. You could see the folded wheelchair. Police took that folded wheelchair and you could see it was left on the road right near the sidewalk. We don't have an identification yet of this woman, just that she's believed to be middle-aged. Police say they know that they're looking for a dark blue SUV that was last seen headed south on City Avenue. So they're on scene there, but just a heads up, if you're passing through that way to get maybe through the main line and then go to City Ave to get to the Schuylkill, for example, you need to take an alternate route. Same thing if you're going the other way toward Conshohocken State Road. So it's quite a mess.
So the victim was in a wheelchair and was struck by the SUV.
That's this is like how many times have we seen this?
Yeah,
with individuals struck like this. So, but that's what they believe, that this lady was in the wheelchair.
Jesus.
So maybe they should start putting some of those reflective lights on, I hate to say, but on wheelchairs. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
On the back and on the sides, on the wheels, the reflective lights.
For sure.
Or not lights, but,
Yeah, so
reflective.
you're more visible.
My goodness.
Wow.
So a real tragedy there.
Indeed.
And also a road, a headache on the roads early this morning, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better. It's getting worse. So investigation also is underway with confirmation the Philadelphia police shot and killed a carjacking suspect. So the man shot and killed by Philadelphia police officers happened last night. He was apparently, according to police, there was a separate shooting inside a home. That's when police were called to the 5400 block of Chancellor Street. Looks like some kind of a domestic situation with this man and perhaps an ex-girlfriend, a strange girlfriend or girlfriend. So officers responding to that scene between the man and the woman, getting calls of shots fired. Then upon arrival, they say that they witness the man, this male suspect, leaving this home and trying to confront the 47-year-old suspect, and he apparently fled in a carjacked pickup truck. So at gunpoint, carjack somebody, takes off in that pickup truck. There was a later confrontation. That was at 52nd and Woodland, where apparently this armed man pulled his firearm on officers, and they fired on him, shooting and killing him. So standard operating procedure that this is under investigation. No word that any of these officers were injured, but we know from our experience, and police always are telling us, that those things that begin as a domestic incident are always the most dangerous for officers, for law enforcement.
Absolutely.
So, it looks like the woman involved in that original domestic, and I don't know if she called authorities or if neighbors were calling authorities in the home, which might tell you something. It looks like she was not injured, nobody else injured in the situation. And we know that Philadelphia police also investigating after a woman was shot in the stomach. She's in critical condition this morning. Happened in the city's Olney section over the weekend. Police say it happened along the 4800 block of Franklin Street. 26-year-old woman shot in her stomach. First responders transporting the woman to a nearby hospital. I don't know if this is a case where police arrived and took her. We hear that all too often. She remains in critical condition as they search for suspects in that one. Other headlines this morning, as we know that SEPTA, 5,500 union members could strike. They're still in talks, but we know that this contract expired Thursday overnight, essentially Thursday night, 11:59 p.m. Both sides had said they were close. They agreed to come back to the table, but this Monday morning, no contract deal yet. Will they strike this week?
I'm thinking they're going to get a deal done at some point this week, right? Like we talked about it last Friday. A little goodwill you build up because you feel like things are moving in the right direction, so you keep working for a little bit. But that goodwill evaporates pretty quickly too, so you can't drag this out too far. I'm going to predict the deal gets done before we're out of here by Friday.
I hope so, because of course SEPTA is the quote unquote school bus.
That's right.
For tens of thousands.
I went to school on a school bus.
Yep.
Philadelphia school children.
55. What is it? 55,000? Is that the number, or 5,500?
55,500 union members.
Oh, okay.
Could strike.
Gotcha.
SEPTA union. So we also have Mattel. We have to talk about this. That Mattel says they're taking action after some smart and maybe observant social media users noticed a huge mistake on the packaging of the company's new line of those Wicked Barbie dolls to honor, the show Wicked, Ariana Grande, the Wicked show that's been here in Philadelphia as well as on Broadway for many years. It's a Broadway show. These special dolls, beloved characters like Glinda and the other, the Good Witch, the Wicked Witch, that sort of thing. But there's a labeling error in the packaging, directing fans. It's supposed to be to the wickedmovie.com site. Unfortunately, it directs them to a adult film website.
Yeah, I've watched that Wicked version.
Yeah. Wicked Entertainment, right?
Yeah. Very dark. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mommy,
amazing. What? So, eek.
Oh, man.
Isn't it amazing the things that slip through the cracks for corporations? It's just unbelievable.
Who did that? Did they do that on purpose?
How did they not yeah, is that an intern just trying to get a giggle?
Oh, my goodness. So I know that we have, this is many Veterans Day commemorations here at Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, as well as yesterday, the big parade here in Philadelphia. But I know that commemorations continue. It technically is a federal holiday.
Yes.
So we just
We're
want
here, though.
That explains why the B morning show is empty in the studio.
Yeah.
All the music stations are off today. It's nice.
Everybody else except us. So Philadelphia Eagles, as we talk about our Eagles beating the Cowgirls, oh my gosh, 34-6.
Yeah. Big flipping of the switch in that second half, because I got to tell you, that thing was, 7-6 and then 14-6, and I'm like, this thing is boring as hell. It's like, what are we doing here? Can we just put these cockroaches away?
First time in 7 years.
And
right?
And then they play Thursday night against, Thursday against the Commanders.
Yeah, and the Commanders lost.
I
so
know.
That's huge.
Lost to the Steelers.
28-27,
Yeah, if we take care of business in 3 nights, division's ours.
Yep.
Big swing here.
So it's a short turnaround.
I know.
I have to wonder if, because we have to fly home, we're 7-2, short turnaround for Thursday, but it was kind of nice that the Eagles were so far ahead that they actually could play like the second string and kind of rest your,
They put Kenny Pickett in, the old Steeler quarterback.
Kind of nice.
Yeah, I said, Jalen, throw on the ball cap and call it a day, kid.
So it's feeling good. I'm wearing my green. We're all feeling good. Slippery road conditions, even though for the most part it's just a drizzle out there, but be safe today. We also still have all of these wildfires to talk about in Pennsylvania as well, mostly in New Jersey. Tough for firefighters, but that risk remains because even though we got the much needed rain, we have such a deficit after a 40-day drought, essentially, that still those red flag alerts remain, especially in New Jersey. We're sponsored by First Harvest Credit Union on what will be a 70-degree sunny day, so we will warm up and see the sun. Open a First Harvest Credit Union growth checking account. Have easy access to your money for everyday spending while earning as high as 2.0% annual percentage yield. Visit firstharvestcu.com for all the details. Membership restrictions apply. Insured by NCWA. Thank you, First Harvest Credit Union, for sponsoring our first edition Kayal & Company News Live on this all-important Veterans Day.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:14, Monday morning, Veterans Day. Let's get to a Monday Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal & Company.
And it is brought to you by the Piazza Auto Group. The Big Take, processing failure, lessons learned, free speech, and the future. It's been a rough 5 days for Democrats in the mainstream media. Conversely, it's been a glorious stretch for Donald Trump, Republicans, and those who tolerated the last 4 years. And the fallout continues to take shape after Donald Trump's election victory last week. Over the weekend, Arizona was called for Donald Trump, finally, which gave Trump a completed 7-state sweep of the battlegrounds. Trump also eclipsing his 74 million vote total from 2020 now that the votes have been tabulated out west. And it'll be an interesting dynamic with how the Democrat Party and the legacy media handle the future. We know that they share the same talking points, but could we see a split on the verge of happening? Think about this. The media can stay the course, bashing Trump for those out there who want their pound of flesh from the orange man, because with Trump in office, all of the mainstream media's ratings will inherently go up. But for the Democrat Party, bashing Trump and white men as the devil proved to be fatal, and they are facing an identity crisis. Do they keep pandering to the fringes, or do they find better candidates, better policy, and ultimately better messaging? From the looks of it, they are remaining stubborn, not processing failure well, and haven't learned their lesson. And that's just fine by me. Headline in the New York Post as CBS journalist bashes the New York Times for coverage of Trump's 2024 win, saying that the New York Times doesn't understand this nation. CBS News reporter Jan Crawford saying, quote, the blue bubble elite have been out of touch for years, end quote. And I agree with that completely. And of course, speaking of being out of touch, MSNBC, which has been out of it for at least the last 8 years, had this to say when it pertains to the Democrats losing voters to Trump in the male demographic. How about this for a doozy? Listen and watch this.
It's a radicalization funnel. But what they have done in their online media ecosystem is build a radicalization engine, literally the way militant groups do around the world, that takes people from relatively low-level annoyances with the world. Why are eggs so expensive? Why is my kid learning this new thing in American history in school that I didn't learn? And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politics. It's an elaborate multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, and there is nothing like it on the pro-democracy side. We don't have when a man is just lost and lonely and not yet radicalized, we don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction. By the way, we should educate men that it's actually really great to live with a strong woman who makes money. It's actually easier. Life is easier.
But I think how that feminist approach with Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff work out. That clown is out of touch, too. And how about the audacity to say, quote, small annoyances such as the cost of eggs and what your kid is being taught in school? He seems completely detached from the everyday man. But that's MSNBC and their talent, in air quotes, in a nutshell. So what have we learned so far post-election, at least in the eyes of the left-wing media? Well, Latino men are sexist, all men are misogynistic and racist, and free speech needs to be stifled. It's unfair what Elon Musk did by purchasing X. Here's a montage of CNN, MSNBC, and The View all crying about the First Amendment and social media. Listen and watch.
I think in a normal country, we would say, hold on a second, maybe we need to have a different set of regulations for social media platforms now that they're this big.
It would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
And then moves them through YouTube videos, through podcasts, moves them from that annoyance all the way slowly to a full-blown fascist politics. We don't have the equivalent of Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson to move that man in a feminist direction.
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
Crystal, thank you, Elon. But the marketplace of ideas is about to get even better with Donald Trump back in the White House. This was Donald Trump in December of 2022, just 23 months ago, as he made it clear that he was making a comeback in 2024 and that free speech will thrive once again because the solution to free speech isn't censorship, it's more speech. It's more robust speech and discussion and discourse and dialogue, and it is better speech. Listen and watch this.
Of American citizens. I will then ban federal money from being used to label domestic speech as mis or disinformation. And I will begin the process of identifying and firing every federal bureaucrat who has engaged in domestic censorship, directly or indirectly, whether they are the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Health, Human Services, the FBI, the DOJ, no matter who they are. Second, I will order the Department of Justice to investigate all parties involved in the new online censorship regime, which is absolutely destructive and terrible, and to aggressively prosecute any and all crimes identified. These include possible violations of federal civil rights law, campaign finance laws, federal election law, securities law, and antitrust laws, the Hatch Act, and a host of other potential criminal, civil, regulatory, and constitutional offenses. To assist in
Trump also rolling out his plan to dismantle the deep state, which includes, number one, immediately reissuing his 2020 executive order, restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats. Number two, cleaning out all the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus. Number three, exposing the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing the country apart. Number four, launching a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately release false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. You can read the other six, if you would like, on Truth Social. Now, tell me, what American would be opposed to any of that? Why would you be against free speech? Why would you not want the government to make sure that fake news media is not putting out stuff intentionally to divide America? Only those who are a part of the apparatus and have something to lose, that's who would be against this. But enough of the past. It's on to the future. Onward and upward we go. The DOJ filing charges against an asset from Iran and 2 others for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. This coming out late on Friday afternoon. According to Fox News, a criminal complaint filed in federal court in New York City says an unnamed official in Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps had asked Farhad Shakiri, 51, of Iran, back in September to, quote, focus on surveilling and ultimately assassinating former President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Quote, there are few actors in the world that pose as grave a threat to the national security of the United States as does Iran. That's a quote from Attorney General Merrick Garland, who said in a statement, the Justice Department has charged an asset of the Iranian regime who was tasked by the regime to direct a network of criminal associates to further Iran's assassination plots against its targets, including President-elect Donald Trump, end quote. Look at that. Merrick Garland actually doing real work. It's nice to see, but get ready to update your resume, pal. And more good news. The Associated Press with this headline as, quote, judge cancels Donald Trump's 2020 election case as court deadline expires. They write the following. A D.C. federal judge put special counsel Jack Smith's 2020 election case against Trump on ice Friday at prosecutors' request following the victory over Kamala Harris. The order by Judge Tanya Chutkan called on Smith to figure out his next move by December 2nd. As reports indicate, the Justice Department will drop all pending litigation against the 45th and now 47th president. But where do we go from here? Will we actually become the United States, or will we remain the divided states? Vivek Ramaswamy with a beautiful message. Listen and watch this.
And my advice to our fellow Republicans is that after, yes, we won and won decisively, we're done criticizing Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or the past. Let's turn the page to chase the future. One of the things I loved about Donald Trump's victory speech, and I was personally there, was him beginning to talk about this golden age in America. I think everyone wants that golden age, a growing economy, an immigration system that works. We now have an electoral mandate to deliver it. And so to Republicans, my ask is, you know what, let's put aside our own sense of grievance or vengeance or whatever. We won, let's use it. We're running to something. And my ask of Democrats and to those on the left who may not have liked Donald Trump and may not like him still is to say, just give him a chance and give us a chance to say that, you know what, we have a chance to unite this country in a way that we have not in a very long time. Most people favor economic growth. Most people want to pay lower taxes. Most people want an American dream for their kids and an immigration system that works and secure borders for our country and don't want their kids lining up to fight in World War III. That's the opportunity that we have. And I think it's a generational opportunity that we shouldn't squander. And so, you know, even to those who disagreed, my ask is give us a chance, and we're going to do our part by exhibiting, I hope, some grace to the people who we believe we're wrong, but in moving this country forward, that's what we're looking to do.
And speaking of uniting and not dunking on the Democrats, Donald Trump with this message on social media to Kamala Harris and the Democrats in defeat saying, quote, I am very surprised that the Democrats who fought a hard and valiant fight in the 2024 election, raising a record amount of money, didn't have lots of money left over. Now they are being squeezed by vendors and others to the tune of a $20 million debt. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we as a party, and for the sake of desperate needed unity, do, end quote. Not sure if that's Trump trying to troll or if that's Trump speaking the truth on truth, but the message is out there and the writing is on the wall. Trump is ready to hit the ground running, and the GOP is aiming to diffuse the rhetoric and the divisiveness in this country. Will the Democrats and the dying legacy media follow suit? That is the $1 million question, and I have my doubts, and that's the Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
Brought to you by the Piazza Auto Group. The season of performance event has arrived at Piazza Acura of Ardmore, Reading, and Westchester. Get incredible lease and purchase offers on a new Acura RDX, MDX, Integra, and the all-electric ZDX. Shop online today at piazzaacura.com. 855-839-1210 is how you climb in. Social media, that's good as well, at 1210 WPHT. And, of course, fire away with your comments in the YouTube chat. Kayal and Company just underway here on this Monday morning. FEMA total fraudulence exposed when we continue on Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Cap off the NFL week with a chance to win on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sportsbook. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins on tonight's Monday Night Football game. The Miami Dolphins and the LA Rams. Looking ahead, I'm going to do this three-leg same-game parlay for tonight's game. I'm going to do Cooper Kupp for an anytime touchdown, the Dolphins at the money line at plus 120, and Tua Tagovailoa on the under for passing yards. So combine those three bets together for one same-game parlay. Plunk down $5, and you can win $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Just go to FanDuel.com/Greg to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, President PA. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My brother-in-law died suddenly. And now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $40 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $18 a month, a savings of nearly $300 a year.
Whether you need a $100,000 policy or a $10 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-637-9116. That's 1-800-637-9116. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-637-9116.
Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
I'm here for PJ Fitzpatrick. Have you been dreaming of a new shower to replace your slippery old tub? PJ Fitzpatrick can install a low-threshold or low-entry, fully customized jacuzzi shower system in just one day. It is surprisingly affordable and comes with a lifetime guarantee. Trust me, a happy bath makes for a happy life. Better yet, trust PJ. Visit trustpj.com to set up a free design consultation and take advantage of the fall promotions. That's trustpj.com. TrustPJ.com.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son, your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care, and that caregiver will get paid instantly after their shift. Yes, your caregiver will get paid instantly, and it's 100% free to you if you are on Medicaid. Call 267-692-3782 and ask Freedom Care how to get started with care today. No more worrying about getting care from an aide at an agency. Freedom Care helps you choose who you want to take care of you, and that person gets paid. Call Freedom Care at 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782 to get started today. You get a caregiver you know and trust, and they get paid instantly after their shift, and it's free to you. Start now by calling 267-692-3782, 267-692-3782, or go to freedomcare.com.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
This holiday season, spread some cheer by stopping by Cozy Jewelers for their Black Friday toy drive. From November 23rd through the 30th, save 20% off select in-stock items at Cozy Jewelers when you bring in a new unwrapped toy. Paul Cozy will help you pick out the perfect gift that will make this the most magical holiday ever. Step up to the 5th C. That's color, cut, clarity, carrot, and cozy. Visit Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square for their Black Friday toy drive, November 23rd through the 30th, or CozyJewelers.com.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause. Brought to you by the Labor and Energy Alliance this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that will affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It is Kayal and Company, Monday morning. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Hopefully all of you had a great weekend. As we get another week going, just a couple of weeks before Thanksgiving. It'll be here before you know it. 855-839-1210 is how you jump in on the show. Cut sheet absolutely loaded. My favorite cut sheet of the week, Monday mornings, fresh off of 72 hours of pundits saying a bunch of stuff that I probably disagree with. We'll get to that coming up at 7:45. Sean Farish, 8:30, and our Veteran Spotlight World War II Greatest Generation Edition coming up today at 9:40. But I want to get Dawn's thoughts on everything that is kind of played out, and then we're going to get to FEMA here in just a moment. So, Dawn, over the weekend, you have people on MSNBC talking about how young men and men in general were radicalized on social media over petty grievances like the cost of everyday food expenses. You had some court cases that look like they're going to be dropped. Judge Tanya Chutkin telling Jack Smith, hey, what do you plan on doing, pal, because the clock's ticking. Your time's up. But I really thought it was Vivek Ramaswamy. That if I had to take everything from that big take that stood out to me the most, his message on, hey, give Trump a chance. If you want a good economy, a secure border, you don't want your kid going to World War III and being killed, you know, and I kind of burying the hatchet is, I think, the way Vivek framed it. I think some Republicans will adhere to that. Others will continue to go for their pound of flesh, and that's definitely their right to do so. But your thoughts on everything that's played out since we last signed off?
Well, as far as I don't think it's Republicans. I think that there are just some partisan Democrats who are not going to give it up, and that's just it. It's over. It's over. The election is over. It's done. The people have spoken. The citizens of this country have sent a mandate to not just President-elect Trump, but this is nationwide, that they went way too far left. I think we should not even call that party Democrats anymore. It would probably be good for them to just call it the far left cray-cray progressives who lost, got spanked, go away.
Yep.
You were way over to the left. And I don't even think that's why most Democrats, such as Tulsi, I mean, that takes a lot for, somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, who fought for our nation, served in our military. You think about her and all the veterans.
Yep.
On this Veterans Day, how many of them, were Democrats and said, my party left me a long time ago. How many people did we talk to who called in here to Kayal and Company who said, I'm a longtime Democrat? I mean, that was 60 Minutes. I know on our group text, you were 60 Minutes last night highlighted that fact. There are so many people across the country who said, what the heck happened to my party that my parents and grandparents, I worked in the unions, and it really wasn't the Democrat Party. It was unrecognizable.
You're right. You're right.
So we just need to go back to the reasonable side of it and remind people who are still upset about it that that's not really their Democrat Party.
That's a great point, because there's been a lot of conversation in light of the results with the total votes for Trump. As I mentioned in the big take, he eclipses his number of 4 years ago. But everybody on the Democrat side and the mainstream media are saying, well, I mean, look at this. Technically, Kamala Harris received more votes than Barack Obama did, but fell well short of Joe Biden's 81 million votes. Where did those votes go? And obviously people are being facetious, tongue-in-cheek, saying that, basically if you read through the tea leaves, they're saying that those votes never existed. It was all fake, blah, blah, blah. But I think there's a lot of moderate Democrats, like you're saying, I think a classic liberal Democrats, that if they didn't vote for Trump, they just didn't vote at all. And they didn't vote at all, and they stayed home because they can't identify with today's rendition of the Democrat Party. To your point, it is so far off the grid to the left that it is borderline insane. And much like I think 2 years ago, where Republicans put too many eggs in the social cultural wars in their basket, that was the entire platform of Kamala Harris and the Democrats the last 4 years. It's all about what your race is, what your gender is, what your sexual orientation is, when the reality is nobody gives a rip about any of that if they can't afford to eat, if they can't afford to buy a home, if they can't afford to heat and cool their house. So they overplayed their hand on the identity politics concept, and really they negated the meat and potatoes, right? Like, you can't put out a great spread at a restaurant that only focuses on appetizers if the entree sucks, right? You're not going to get business that way. It's all about the entree. And they forgot about the entree, much to the delight of Republicans, because the Republicans are like, you know what? Meat and potatoes, man. Meat and potatoes. Economy and border. Economy and war. We said it, right? If Trump kept on point and stayed on message and focused on the economy, illegal immigration, crime, and wars, he would win the election. And that's exactly what played out, even to the tune of guys like Bernie Sanders, which I think is also the ultimate hypocrisy, because he's super far left. And now he's bashing the Democrats. I'm like, wait a minute, Bernie. The only person that's further left than you is Kamala Harris. So I found that dynamic very interesting over the weekend, where Bernie was ranting and raving from his mansion in Vermont.
Yeah, I will say this about Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
That's a great point to say, that Bernie used to be that kind of kooky guy, but he made sense on some things, right? Like, he's a Second Amendment guy and that sort of thing.
Sure.
So Bernie Sanders looked more moderate. That's how far left, cray progressive this situation was. That he looked like the moderate, reasonable person.
When Bernie's right of you, you need to reevaluate, right? Especially if you lose. If you win, and then there's nothing to reevaluate. But you lost, and you lost big. But nobody's a bigger loser than FEMA. I was blown away, and I really mean that, blown away. Well, Nick, you shouldn't be. This is unbelievable that people would put politics, federal agencies would put politics ahead of rescue efforts after a natural disaster. If you recall, when we had all these hurricanes, through Georgia and Florida and Carolina, and it felt like there was multiple storms, Republicans were wondering, boy, I wonder if some of these areas ravaged by the devastation in the rural areas that are Trump country are going to receive all the adequate support. Trump even said, I believe in one of his posts, that FEMA is purposely going to neglect Trump supporters. You'll see here the exclusive, and Sean, just leave this one up. This is from the Daily Wire. Exclusive reporting, FEMA official ordered relief workers to skip houses that had Donald Trump signs up. Whistleblower saying, quote, it's almost unbelievable to think that somebody in the federal government would think that is okay. Let me give you the backdrop here in the story, and then we're going to give you some more. If you're not on YouTube yet, get on over there. I'm going to give you some screenshots of this, but I just want to give you some of the information. So this happens over the weekend where just in a FEMA supervisor who instructed disaster relief officials to avoid homes and not help Americans who showed public support for Donald Trump has officially been relieved of their duties. That according to an official statement. The FEMA supervisor wrote, "Avoid homes advertising Trump" in a, quote, best practices memo. Although the official was not officially named in the statement, multiple government officials told the Daily Wire that the person responsible for the misguided directive is named Marnie Washington. And according to the exclusive report of the Daily Wire, the FEMA agents ordered not to help citizens with Trump signs. They were operating in Highlands County, Florida, and at least 20 homes were reportedly skipped over. Now I want to show you, Sean, if you could throw up the New York Times graphic. This was a while back where the New York Times said the following, fact check. Trump's false claims about the federal response to Hurricane Helene. The former president falsely accused the Biden administration of spending disaster funding on migrants, neglecting areas that had voted for Republicans, and ignoring a call from a Republican governor. So the New York Times was in bed with the federal agencies and the Biden administration and Democrats. Oh, no, Trump's full of crap. He's just shooting from the hip again. When we find out it was absolutely true. Now, I want to show you 3 different graphics here on YouTube. One from CBS, one from CNBC, and then the truth from New York Post. Sean, if you want to throw up either CBS or CNBC, that would be great. So there's CNBC. Now, you see that and you say, well, what's wrong with that, Nick? It says FEMA fires employee who told federal relief workers to skip Trump supporters. They use a picture of a lady, a white lady. That is not the lady that issued this order. CBS, they talk about media bias by omission, Dawn Stensland. They were complicit as well with the headline, "A FEMA worker has been fired after she directed workers helping hurricane survivors not to go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Donald Trump." They use the same lady from FEMA, a white lady, in their picture. Now, let's go to the reported suspect here, who apparently was the one who issued it, and the New York Post confirming that the female official from FEMA happened to be an African-American lady. Now, I don't give a damn if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Jewish, gay, or straight. It doesn't matter to me. The point is, you have the mainstream media, the CNBCs and the CBSs, showing a stock photo of some lady from FEMA, but they didn't show you the lady who actually put this in writing, who is now relieved of her duties. And I ask you the simple question, why would you not show the picture of the lady who did it? Oh, that's right, because the media is all about a certain narrative. Now, let me ask you this. If the roles were reversed on, and it was the Trump administration that said, you know what? Nobody in New York City or Philadelphia or Los Angeles or Detroit or Chicago or Atlanta, if they have Biden-Harris signs in their yard, skip over them. Make sure you get to the Trump supporters. And if that FEMA individual under Trump's tutelage was white, do you think they would hide the identity and the visual graphic confirmation of who the person in charge of that is? My guess would be no. So you always talk about the media and how complicit they are. Complete cover-up, totally debunked, and FEMA should be embarrassed. As a federal agency, your job is to make sure that American citizens are safe and secure in the line of natural disaster. You don't skip over somebody that could be in dire straits because they have a "Make America Great Again" sign in their yard. How despicable of a practice is that? That should infuriate people. You talk about division in this country. Where's it coming from?
It is horrible. It is also unusual that a FEMA administrator, and the one they were showing all weekend, the woman you said was the white woman, Deanne Criswell, she's a FEMA biggity big. And so I imagine that, they're looking at who they're going to throw under the bus and who's going to get fired for this. But I wonder if they're so... Here's what surprises me. First of all, that they acknowledged that somebody actually did this.
Yes, fire all of them.
So the good news to me is that even though this woman was telling the disaster relief workers in Lake Placid, Florida, to do this, to not go to the homes that have the Trump signs or Republican signs in their yards to help them, it makes me wonder if they just want to acknowledge that it was happening. Yeah, it happened in Florida, in Lake Placid, in this one area with this one rogue person. But it does make me wonder if it was indeed happening. Because remember, there were claims by residents in North Carolina, in some of those hard-hit areas, that they were being passed over.
Yeah. I just look at all of these unelected bureaucrats that run these 3-letter or 4-letter alphabet agencies with the political bias in which they operate. We're all Americans, right? We're all human beings. If you're religious, we're all God's children, right? We all, well, most of us pay our tax dollars. So just who cares what sign you have in your yard? If this house has been destroyed, if somebody's in flood waters, trapped, whatever it is, you don't skip over them. Who does that?
Well, the person who does it is the person who has been told and perhaps brainwashed by the Biden-Harris administration that those evil MAGA followers are dangerous. They're evil. Remember President Joe Biden here in Philadelphia a couple years ago with talking about MAGA supporters. And that's the rhetoric that we've heard.
Yeah.
The left constantly says, that somehow the Trump's rhetoric or tweets are dangerous. The truth is, Trump's the one who took a bullet, into the ear and survived 2 assassination attempts. And this would be more evidence that once again you have victims of a horrible storm. And by all accounts, look, I'm sure the reason we have whistleblowers who've produced the tangible evidence against this woman, the good news here is the vast majority of those FEMA workers were horrified. They obviously are the whistleblowers, right? They went and did the right thing and said, whoa, this one supervisor is, she's way out there. But I think that's what's happening here, much to the earlier conversation we had, that we have to have almost like this cleansing where we say, hey, it's not okay to be so extreme. Whether you're to the far right or the way far left, you're not in the mainstream. You're not join the folks who are closer to the middle.
Right. Join the bulk of society, right? Yeah.
And so stop.
Yeah, I agree.
But we see, the ones with the MAGA hats, they're always willing to point and say, those are the crazy ones. The truth is, we've seen all this tangible evidence of, where's it coming from? The left.
That's right.
And this person who's fired, it's probably, I wonder if she'll sue and say, well, she's been told by her administration right to the top, the Veep and the Prez, telling us they're dangerous.
Yep. Just taking orders from above. 855-839-1210. Come back, put a bow on the first hour, squeeze in a call or two. As we wrap up the 6 o'clock hour on a Monday morning, it is Kayal & Company. But first, a word from my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. We are talking about the Honda Prologue. It is Honda's first all-electric SUV with a range of 300 miles on a single charge at a fast charge time, right? Because you want to get back on the road, get back to what you're doing, because we're all crunched for time, and you can cruise the roads worry-free. I checked this vehicle out, and how cool is this? It has 3 different charging options to choose from, including the portable charging kit for when you're on the go. You can lease the Prologue today for as low as $279 per month. How about that? Under $300 a month in 2024 for a brand new SUV? Visit Piazza Honda in Philadelphia, Pottstown, Springfield, Reading, or Langhorne for details, and shop online right now. PiazzaHonda.com.
Hey, Dawn here. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes, in just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. Trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. Kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. Tell Dawn sent you.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
First time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN will encrypt your online traffic. Its Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the special Black Friday deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
It's Kayal and Company as we get set to wrap up the first hour here on Veterans Day, Monday, November 11th. A salute to all who served this great country, past and present. Thank you very much. 855-839-1210 is how you jump in. Cut sheet coming up at 7:45. Sean Farish at 8:30, and our first veteran from World War II, the greatest generation. He is coming up at 9:40 this morning. But we wrap with your calls. Let's go right down the road to Manayunk as we've got Caroline with us this morning. Caroline, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Nick. I'm glad you and your fellow MAGA coworkers are so jubilant over getting your lawless felon reinstalled in the White House.
Yes.
But what I called about is this FEMA worker. I think she was more than justified to tell her employees not to go to houses with Trump signs, since Trump was spreading so many lies about FEMA and FEMA workers that they were getting threats, and they arrested a man. He was threatening this, the FEMA people who were only trying to help them, and he was spreading lies that all the money for the hurricane victims is going to the migrants, which was not true. And they said they had enough money, more than enough to help the hurricane victims.
Right.
So he had this woman, I think she should file a lawsuit against the government for firing her and also endangering her safety now against the rabid Trump supporters.
So let me
ask
you.
Somebody's
like drowning after a hurricane, and you're going to say because of somebody's campaign rhetoric, they should let somebody die? A doctor, what about a doctor in an emergency room because somebody's a Republican and the candidate they voted for said something stupid that a person dying in an emergency room should not be operated by a doctor? These people are rescue operation people. They come in to save babies and grandparents and parents and people's lives in the midst of a deadly hurricane. And those workers generally are heroes. That's why their agency is horrified.
Yeah.
So the fact that somebody did campaign rhetoric on any side is irrelevant. A rescue worker, a first responder, that's like saying 9/11.
Yeah.
When those firefighters were running into the building. Oh, wait a minute, there might be some
people, some partisans that you disagree with. Don't go save them.
Did you vote for Bush?
Oh,
you
my
get in the back of the
goodness.
line. Yeah.
Stop. Stop.
I love this. I'm going to, by the way, there's no doubt about it. Caroline has a hate, has no home sign in her yard in Manayunk. Yeah, I would take that to the bank. A Ukraine sign as well, maybe a Ukraine flag. She's probably been vaccinated 8 times. So the New York Times, speaking of lies, just to wrap up the hour. So here I gave you that headline on October 4th, right, from the New York Times. Trump's false claims about federal response to Hurricane Helene. On Saturday, November 9th, here's the New York Times, and I'm going to tweet out the screenshot side by side so you can see just how full of crap the New York Times is. FEMA fires employee for telling Milton relief workers to skip houses with Trump signs. The agency says it was investigating the incident in the aftermath of the Category 3 hurricane that hit Florida in October. So from October 4th, Trump's false claims, to November 9th, well, FEMA had to fire somebody because they did exactly what we were fearful of that they would do. But that's the mainstream media in a nutshell. Is that not it right there? Perfectly, Dawn. In the last 4 years, they say it's not true. Then it comes out to be true. This time it took 35 days. Usually it can take 6 to 18 months. It's misinformation. It's disinformation. It's right-wing conspiracy talk. And then we're proven right all along. We're not crazy. We're just ahead of the curve. But we appreciate Caroline for listening.
And in this case, those whistleblowers who are clearly those FEMA workers, who are dedicated people, that's who turned in this supervisor, who probably, by the way, was not a great supervisor. You know what I mean? Although her sister is speaking out saying she is a dedicated person, she would never do this. Mm-hmm. So there will be an investigation into this. And there's also a guy in North Carolina who was arrested for threatening some of the FEMA workers. So the bottom line is that everybody wants to make everything partisan, and the media, the mainstream media, falls into, unfortunately, this pattern where they side with one side or the other. Just let people do their jobs. But thank God for these whistleblowers who turned in a bad apple, and hopefully it's just one.
Yep. 855-839-1210 if you want to jump in. News to kick off hour number 2. And then only 53% of Harris voters agree with. Well, we'll tell you exactly what it is on the other side. It's Kayal and Company. Hour 2 is next.
My name's Jim Colombo, 3 years in the Marine Corps, Vietnam vet, 67, 68, and I've been with Crash Proof Retirement since 2017. Every day should be Veterans Day. Every time you walk down the street, you're free, and you're free because of a veteran. Crash Proof Retirement, I would recommend it to all veterans. As a matter of fact, I recommended it to a lot of my friends already. I'm not worried about inflation now because I earn interest, and once I earn the interest, it's mine to keep. I don't pay a dime to anybody for anything. All I'm doing is watching my money grow and grow. I feel very secure and safe with Crash Proof Retirement.
This Veterans Day, Crash Proof Retirement salutes our nation's brave armed forces, those who served, and those who continue to serve. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Do you know your numbers? What numbers? Your heart health numbers, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. They're important, so ask your doctor. Learn your numbers, and if something doesn't seem right with them, see a Deborah specialist at one of our offices throughout South Jersey. After all, when it's your heart, you don't take chances. Find a specialist near you at demanddeborah.org.
Of course, we all need to save a little cash these days. Saving money on your utility bills is a great start. Sign up for the CNC Heating and Air Conditioning Maintenance Plan. Minimize the wear and tear of your system and lower your energy bills this winter. If your HVAC needs replacing, CNC makes budgeting for your new system a snap with 0% financing options. Schedule an estimate today with CNC Heating and Air Conditioning, your local York certified comfort experts. Start saving today. Visit cc-hvac.com.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra, Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, Saturday, November 23rd. It's the story of Philly sports through music.
I loved it. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure I'd like it, but I'll tell you, I'm glad I came. Best ever.
He reinvented himself. It was really good, man.
The music, the singing, you laugh, you tear it up.
That's Conklin and City Rhythm at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far. It's nice to get back into clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time.
We can also help with insomnia.
I slept through the whole night. It made me feel very well rested and ready to go for the day.
And RexMD can improve your sexual health.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is happier. I am definitely much happier.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now to get started. That's REXMD.com.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you could even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Hi, it's John Ashow, the Car Czar from Colonial Hyundai. This month, we're reminded that everyone deserves a seat at the table. And this month, we're making sure everyone eats. Colonial Hyundai is doing whatever it takes to serve up tasty savings, regardless of your situation. Credit issues? Doesn't matter. Everyone eats. Owe too much on your current vehicle? Doesn't matter. Everyone eats. Driving a hoopty? I'll give you 6,500 hours for your trade, guaranteed. No matter the condition, no matter the situation, everyone eats here at Colonial Hyundai. Our lot is like a cornucopia of savings with over 200 vehicles to choose from, and right now you can drive home with 0% financing for 60 months. Everyone eats. We're not just carving up turkey, we're slicing prices at Colonial Hyundai. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain, and Hyundai Assurance. Shop us online 24/7 at colonialhyundai.com. Colonial Hyundai, the faster, easier, better way to buy a Hyundai.
Offers cannot be combined. See store for more details. 0.0% on a new 2024 Ioniq 5 on credit approval from HMFUSA. Offer ends 11/30/2020.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
Dancing down the street with your sway blue eyes.
7:03.
Every new boy that you meet.
It's Kayal and Company. Hour number 2 here on this Veterans Day Monday.
The good news is we fixed Dawn's camera.
There
The
we
bad
go.
news is Kayal's camera's now broken.
Are you kidding? Know what? It's better. It's better for me to be in the fuzz than Dawn.
You're actually frozen.
Am I frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, there I am. I'm
Yeah.
frozen and fuzzy. I'm totally distorted. You caught me mid-buffering.
Yep.
I'm like a dial-up modem in 1998. You've got mail. By the way, the voice of America Online, the You've Got Mail,
Yeah.
he passed away over the weekend.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
74 years old.
You've got mail.
You've got mail. Remember you hear that little door open and then the door close?
That is funny.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, it's not funny that he died. I'm sorry that he died, but I actually didn't know that was I mean,
before there was artificial intelligence, there was real voiceover people.
Like, watch the tram car, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that lady's suing.
Is she
tram
really?
car lady, yep.
Good for her. Sue. Get your payday, right? 855-839-1210. Cut sheet coming up in about 40 minutes. Sean Farish, his first appearance post-election. He'll be joining us a little after 8:30 this morning. And our veteran spotlight for World War II gets rolling today and goes throughout the week. Before we get to all of that, though,
I'm looking at Kayal.
I'm still frozen.
He's frozen.
Some would say I never looked better.
Yeah.
That's that's permanently leave that there. Keep that guy in box 4. We go 4 box. We'll keep frozen Kayal in there. I'm like cryogenically frozen, like Ted Williams' head. All right, let's get to the news. Round number 2 at 7:05. Not fuzzy, but ready to go. The great Dawn Stensland.
Ready and raring. Good morning, Kill and Company News Live, sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union this Monday morning, November 11th, Veterans Day, which is, a reminder, a federal holiday. We're getting some new details on the attempted murder of a suburban student aboard a school bus. So this update from police, they say that in total, they want to arrest all 4 suspects. So they're still searching for one suspect who remains on the loose, but they have arrested a total now of 3, just arresting 2 additional suspects yesterday. Those suspects ages 17 and 20, and they had already caught an 18-year-old, by the way, who goes to the high school, Coatesville Area High School, in this accused in the situation. So you may recall, and this is a Kayal and Company follow-up, we talked about this. It was October 10th, 2:30 in the afternoon. School bus driver transporting those high school students. This is Coatesville Area School District. And suddenly these 4 gunmen appear. They open fire on the school bus. This was what they're calling a targeted attack, apparently on at least one of the students who was about to get off on his bus stop. So one of the 8 bullets that were recovered from the scene or the bus shattered the windshield, shards of the glass striking and injuring the bus driver, who is recovering, expected to make a full recovery, but still a terrifying situation. The student passengers were not injured, but at this point they have 2 more arrests, 17-year-old, 20-year-old. So the 3 so far, they're facing charges, not just aggravated assault, but attempted murder.
It's just unbelievable that we could have 4 individuals shooting through. I mean, think how big that glass windshield is on a school bus, right? That thing is massive, and nobody was killed?
Yeah.
It's
a miracle, really.
We should be so thankful that we have such bad aim in this city.
Oh, my God.
With all the shootings you talk about and those that don't get killed.
There's a lot of bad aim.
It's
you're 100% correct.
So they're still looking for that 4th suspect. They haven't named who they're looking for, but it sounds like they now know maybe the other 3 are talking.
Mm-hmm.
So they hope to make that. But all of these, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, so at least one of them is was until this, a student at the high school.
Yep.
These, they're throwing the book at them. These are suburbanites. And they're charging them with attempted murder, aggravated assault, all these other charges.
Good. Hit them with everything under the sun.
We know that it's been quite a traffic nightmare if you're in the area of the main line, City Ave in Bala Cynwyd, and that's because a woman was struck and killed by a vehicle. This was a hit and run. Police say the woman was in a wheelchair early this morning. She was leaving the Taco Bell right near Conshohocken State Road. So City Ave closed in both directions right near Conshohocken Road as police are investigating this deadly situation. We just know that the woman was a middle-aged woman. That's the only information. Police active in searching for a dark blue SUV last seen heading south on City Avenue as they investigate.